Okay, this screencast is about how to work out the area of a trapezium. So, the area of a trapezium. And here's an example of trapezium over here. And the key points about a trapezium is that it's a four-sided polygon or a four-sided shape, and the top and the bottom of this shape, what we call A and B, can be any length, but they must always be parallel. So if we were to draw one ourselves, an example of trapezium, there's the top of a trapezium, and there's the base of our trapezium, and we'll just link up those sides. So we'll do those in white, I think. There's that side, and that side. And we've also got this dotted line here, this green line. I'll talk about that in a sec as well. Okay, so with our trapezium, this top side is called A, this bottom side is called B, and this vertical line here, this vertical green line, is called the height of our trapezium, H. Now, with a trapezium, it's always important to remember that the side A and B are parallel to each other. They are parallel. They're in the same direction. So if A was sort of sloping down like that and B was going straight across, that would not be a trapezium. So we indicate that they have to be parallel by drawing two little arrows like this. So those two lines have to be parallel. The second thing we need to note is that this green line, the height, is the perpendicular height or the vertical height. It's not the height of the side here. It's not this side here. It's the vertical height of our trapezium. So let's have a closer look at our trapezium. So we can move this around like this. These are all trapezium. There's a trapezium. Now A is getting bigger, B is not changing. Actually, if A and B are the same, like that, then we've got a parallelogram. So here's a trapezium, there's a trapezium. They're all trapeziums. Now we can move the base along like this. There's a trapezium. So I could turn around like this. Now notice how no matter where I position my trapezium, notice a couple of things. That line A and line B are always parallel to each other. And this height line here is always at right angles to B. So that's always got to be a right angle. Always. So that is a 90-degree angle between this height and the base of our trapezium. So there we go, there's our trapezium. And I'm now going to show you how we can work out the area of our trapezium. So there's a very simple formula we can use. The formula to work out the area of a trapezium, so the area of a trapezium is equal to A plus B. So we add these two lengths together first, A and B. So it's going to be A plus B, and so we add those together first and foremost. Then we multiply that by this perpendicular height. So, for example, if that was our trapezium, there's our perpendicular height there. We'll come back to this in a sec. So, the area is A plus B times the height. So we're multiplying by the height, and then finally we divide all of that by 2. So let's go through that one more time. To work out the area of any trapezium, we look at the two parallel sides, A and B, and we add them together. Then we multiply that by the perpendicular height of our trapezium, and once we've done all of that, we then divide our answer by 2. So let's do an example of one. So I'm going to clean this slate now, so if you can finish copying down those notes and pause the program, I'll continue. Okay, so the area of any trapezium is equal to A plus B in brackets multiplied by the perpendicular height of the trapezium divided by 2. So if we had a trapezium that looked like this, actually we'll just use this one over here. If our trapezium, let's say it looked like that. Okay, there's our trapezium. And let's say that this length here, length A, is 5 centimeters. So we will say that A is 5 centimeters. Let's make length B 12 centimeters. So B equals 12. So that's the length of this side here. And the perpendicular height, which we call H, is 6 centimeters. So H equals 6 centimeters. So to work out the area, all we do is plug those numbers into our formula. And let's go ahead and do that. So the area of a trapezium, of this trapezium, is going to be A plus B, so that's going to be 5 plus 12. Then we're going to multiply that by H, which in this case is 6, so it's going to be times 6, and then we're going to divide that answer by 2. Notice in algebra we do not need to write the times sign. Okay, notice that this bracket is being multiplied by 6, and then all of this is being divided by 2. So if we work this out, it's going to be 5 plus 12, which is 17. So it's going to be 17 times 6 divided by 2. Well, that's going to be 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times 17 is 51. So that actually will equal 51. 51. Now our measurements were in centimetres, and because it's area, it's going to be 51 centimetres squared. So given these values, then this shaded area is going to be 51 square centimetres. Okay, this is the conclusion of area of trapezium lesson 1. Now you can go to lesson 2 on trapezium.